So like I've been thinking, and something I've been thinking about is how like a lot of things I do on like a daily basis that I've been doing for years, I do in the hopes that I'll get validated. Like in the boys, right? I'm not saying I identify with Homelander. I'm not saying that, but like in the boys, like the TV show, Homelander, he just does like a lot of things to, I guess, for someone to say that they're proud of or something like that, right? If, like for episode one in season one, Madeline Stillwell, like he kind of like worked for her, right? Until he realized that she can't be trusted anymore because she lied to him, right, about the existence of his son, right? And even then, even when he says he doesn't, he does want validation from Stan Edgar, and later on he wants validation from Soldier Boy. And I've just been thinking that like, and I've been thinking that's what I've been doing. Well, not exactly that, but I've been, I've been just doing things for like the validation, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I don't know, like for a long time, I was like the ill kid, right? I was like the weird kid, right? And I don't mean like weird, but I mean the kid that people like kids like avoided. You know what I mean? I was the kid that they held back. You know what I mean? In elementary school, I wasn't the gifted kid like a lot of like other autistic kids. I was the kid that no one believed in. No one. Not even my teachers. Not my parents didn't say, "Oh, you're supposed to." None of them said that shit. None of them said that shit. And like it generally frustrates me to see like just like people with autism be like, "Oh, I was a gifted kid," because I just can't, because I have this insecurity where it's like, yeah, so back then people actually believed in you. They actually loved you. They actually saw you and thought that you were destined for something. And I can't help but look at them and think, at least you had that. At least you were given that. And I can't help but think that shit, man. Maybe I'm the one that's fucked up. I don't know. But those, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really know. But it's also like, it's weird because I feel like a lot of stuff that I'm doing day by day is just to get validation. To hopefully that someone will look at me and go, I see you, I love you, shit like that, right? And that's not sustainable at all. No, that's very healthy to recognize. I think that it's not that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for you to constantly vie for someone's attention, to vie for their enjoyment, for liking you. That's not sustainable at all. There's nothing good that comes out of it. But at the same time, it's like what else are you supposed to be working for? Like what else? Realistically, what else are you working for? What else am I working for, if not for validation? You know what I mean? Like in my mind, like I'm working for like three different things, right? My identity, my for six Degas, and for validation. And like I don't know, just no matter how much I think of it, they don't fit in. You know what I mean? Like if I work for six Degas, no one's gonna validate me, right? Like maybe they will. Maybe they go, "You did so much," but even then, what if I'm like Homelander and it's just like Stan Edgar said himself, it's a bottomless pit of insecurity. What if it's just that? What if I work for years of my life for what? For a validation that even when it comes to me, I just won't believe. Like, what am I working towards? What am I doing on like a personal spiritual level? You know what I mean? Like I was watching a video and it brought up the definition of sloth. And okay, so and I guess the idea of sloth is like how you're busy, but busy in a way to, I guess, step away from spiritual or inner growth. And I got so pissed off today because of that. I was like, what? What am I doing this for? What am I studying for? What am I doing school for and shit like that? What am I doing? Am I just like, cuz like my identity part, right? What I mentioned like before. To me that's growth, like me exploring myself, and seeing, trying to fit myself in the world. That's growth. That is personal growth. But at the same time, it's like, so like what? I can't. do the Sixga thing or the validation thing and have personal growth? Because, like, when I do try to, like, study to, like, be seen as good, or, like, work hard to hopefully to get a good job, or, I don't know, to study to try and hopefully make Sixga what it once was, it's like, it feels like a waste of time because I'm not growing myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was the same person I was 2 weeks ago. I was the same person I was a year ago. Like sometimes I'm like, you know what? I was a different person. I wasn't. I'm not. I'm not a different person. I'm doing the same thing. And I don't know why. I don't know how this came to be. I'm walking in the same direction, and during that entire every single of that year, I was thinking to myself, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different, and I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, okay. It's one thing I really hate when it comes to this really is like, so Voss, Far Cry 3, right? He's like, if when you do the same thing over and over again, expect something different. It's like I don't really know what that means actually. Like I know that it makes, like, who is Voss to say that actually? Like, is it like I don't know, like, I never played the game, but like, what is Voss in the game? Voss is like a terrorist, right? He's like a pirate in that game. It's like, what? Voss, you could do anything, you know? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. Voss talks about how it's sad he's doing the same thing over and over again, which is also referencing himself because he's also just doing the same thing over and over again. Like, what is he doing? He's like shooting people, kidnapping people. Like, he's a pirate. He's a pirate. There's not really much for him else to do. He's not like Diamond Dogs and Metal Gear Solid where like he's gonna go make a nation or something. No, he's a pirate. He's gonna disrupt trade, kidnap people, hold them for ransom, kill. He's not doing much. He's not doing anything beneficial to anyone but himself. So it's like, yeah, he's getting insane because he's doing the same thing. I don't know. It feels weird to say all this because, like, I have OBS on, right? I'm seeing myself during this too, like, right under the camera. There's a preview, right? And I can't help but think that that's me. That's me. That's all this. Like, it's like, I guess that's a forward thing, to look beautiful, right? To look hot and handsome and shit like that, right? To be able to make people think, oh wow, that guy's kind of cute, like something like that, right? you know, that's the fourth thing too. And then when you look at yourself in the mirror, you give up because that's what I'm working for. You know, sure, I may get the validation, I may get Sixga, I may get my identity validated, but when I look in the mirror, I'm not happy with that. So it's like, what am I working for? For that? For the guy in the mirror? I don't, like, what am I working for? Like, I truly do believe that finding your identity, helping your nation or your family or whatever, and just in, like, what's the third thing? And like getting validation, getting like another person's love. I feel like that's important because like, you can't live off of your own love. We're not solitary creatures. But it's also like, what if you just hate yourself on like a genuine level? What if you see yourself as a reflection of other people? What if who you see is not who you are? Burial goods. He made this YouTube like post, I guess. It wasn't a video. It's like a tweet, kind of, right? And it was presenting the idea that, like, who we are is the soul thinking through the mind while looking through the body. So like, there's 3 different types of being: the soul, the mind, and the body. What we think right now, who we are, That's our soul. We're, we're thinking, yeah, the soul. We're thinking through our minds, like our thoughts are created through our minds, memory and shit like that, right? Well, without the mind, we still have our soul, right? But like with the mind, that just makes us, be able to do something in the real world. And then the body is like the machine. It's the catalyst, right? So it's like, how do I describe this in like a machine way? Like, we're the CPU. I don't fucking know. The motherboard and the graphics. I don't fucking know. But like that's the main idea, right? And so it's like, where I'm going with this is that like the soul is looking through the mind, looking back at the reflection of the body. And I hate this body. So wait, what? So what is it? Just body dysmorphia? Is that it? Like don't get me wrong, body dysmorphia is valid. It's super valid. Fuck, I hate this actually. I keep telling myself I'm gonna get a door to replace that one day. But that's who even care. Who even cares actually? Who even cares about that? Who even cares about the door? Like that little opening that I can never close. Who actually cares? In a realistic sense, who cares? No, there's an opening. Like, who cares? I mean, I care, but like, not really. I guess it's kind of scary. It's nerve wracking to like seeing the preview, and it's like right there. But who cares? Who cares when the world feels that it's on my when I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. Who cares? Who cares to have fears and shit like that? Who cares to have like love and like friends and shit like that when you begin to see yourself as the most important person in the world, because it feels like you're the icebreaker. Disco Elysium, right? Like in Disco Elysium, Harry Dubois, when he goes on the fascist route, it's like he talks to the fat lorry driver. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. The fat racist lorry driver, right? No, the racist fat lorry. Fuck, I don't even know. So the racist lorry fat driver, right? You talk to that guy, and turns out he's like super insecure, like, oh, fucking no girls love me, and he takes out his loneliness and his inner hate, and presents as like misogyny and racism, right? And then you talk to the second part in the path, which is Rene. Rene is like a monarchist, right? He's a monarchist fascist who believes that the past king, the suzerain, is like still the king. He's like, oh, the young people, they forgot the king. But at the same time, he's also like a bit pitiful, because like he's sad that like the king is dead. He's gone. What we once has like is gone. Like, like, so quick summary. In Disco Elysium, there was the monarchy, and as a revolution against the monarchy, Karamazov, which is like Karl Marx, I guess, creates a communist revolution to destroy the suzerain, right? And the war was like several decades long. The catalyst was like a plague that happened in like the equivalent to Africa, pretty much. But at the end, the suzerain or the communards don't win. Instead, the coalition of nations, I think, they come in. The Moral Intern, right? The Moral Intern, they come in, and the Moral Intern, they're basically just like, I think they're just a bunch of countries in the world of Disco Elysium. They're just annoyed by the war. They all got devastated, and they were like, fuck this, and so they all conglomerated, and they all just like bombed the shit of the communards at Revachol, and that just kind of ended it. Afterwards, the Moral Intern sent death squads and mercenaries to kill the rest of the communards in places like Grod and Lebanese. I forgot, right? So pretty much every single communard's pretty much dead. Every single one. And I'm not saying that hyperbole, no, literally. other than some student communists and then Ilyanovich, the deserter, the guy at the end, every single communist in the War Disc Elysium is dead, and none of them died of old age. They all got shot. They all got killed by the death squads. And the monarchy's dead too. They were knocked off the pedestal, and Moreland kind of became like the equivalent to the UN. And pretty much the big corporate powerhouse. Revishol's government never really existed again after that. What's the point of this? The point is... What was the point, actually? Fuck. The point was... Oh yeah, Harry Dubois. Rene was part of the monarchists. They never were able to fully kill the communists. Their victory was kind of swept under their feet at Operation Death Blow, which basically just a lot of bombing, pretty much. And they never really, they were never able to reinstall the suzerain. They were never able to kill the communards. The suzerain got bumped off, and then the monarchists, I guess, just went home, I guess. Devastated by war to back where they came from. I guess. So Rene stayed in Marnay, just lamenting about what once was. But he's also sad about it. He knows that it's not right. There are two sides of him. There's the one that regrets how much he's lost from the war. He regrets how much he's killed and how much he's lost. If he didn't go to the war, he would have been able to have a relationship with Gaston. Right? But he never was able to, because he was in the war, and he's too hateful to pursue that relationship, even though Gaston's right there. He's been in front of Gaston for forever. But he's also still hateful. He's bitter against the communards. He hates the communards, even though when to him they literally don't even exist. He hates the moral intern, but fuck, he's surrounded by it. To him, everyone's forgotten. And then there's the third one, Measurehead. Measurehead's really weird. He doesn't really have much relationship to to the revolution. He's just really racist. I think he came from Grodd, and his entire thing is like, I'm the best human. That's a bad accent, but I'm the best human, I am the peak male physicality, some shit like that, right? That's pretty much his point. He's like this big muscular dude who looks at white people and go, you are a ham sandwich. When Harry Dubois comes at him, he's like, you stink of alcohol, which is alcohol, right? Fuck, I don't remember this. No, I do remember this, actually. And Measurehead makes an effort to demote the other fascists. Just to make it clear, if you missed it, right? The Fowler driver is insecure and is a fascist because of his own, I guess, self-wrongs, his own misgivings or whatever. And then Rene is bitter because of what he can't change. And Measurehead points us out and goes that there's nothing to be found there. They're not doing anything. You see, I had a friend, right? And he says that it's too opinionated against fascism, but that's kind of the point. Because who's gonna promote fascism? Because that is fascism. That's the result of fascism. It's not glorious, It's not like Hitler, Mussolini. These guys aren't glorious. In their own heads, they have a beat, a drum, an anthem that promotes their own self-strength, I guess. To them, they are the hero. To themselves, they're the main character. They're the ones that save their nations. But in the end, they're just bitter men. They're bitter men that's grown their entire foundations from hatred. And what do they do with it? they killed. They did horrible things. You don't need me to tell you that. But the biggest idea is that they weren't who they were when they were younger. You know, they're scarred, traumatized. I mean, these are abused kids here. They're fascists not because of what they did, but because of what they've grown from and what they decided to let fester. That's the fat lord driver and Renee. They became bitter of what's been done to them and what hasn't been done to them, what they were unable to do. And Measurehead is the only actual fascist in the game. And yet, I guess in a real way, he's also the least doing. Like, what? He's the bodyguard of the Union? The fat lord driver, sprouts racism as he sells magazines and Renee... Fuck, that is true. The fascists don't even do anything. Because Renee's so useless, the Union gave him a post that literally doesn't do anything. He watches a yard. You know what I mean? The fat lord driver just sells a magazine on the side of the street. And then the Measurehead is a bodyguard for the Union. These guys aren't important because I guess these fascists are important. Fascists are a dying breed of people, but they're inevitable at the same time. They're always dying, but they're inevitable, right? It's because now I guess the real villain is hell. No one's gonna deny it's the moral lantern. The moral lantern is moralism. It's, I guess, left-wing libertarian. I don't know, it's weird, but it's corporate. Beyond everything else, the moral lantern is corporate. They control the trade, they control wood, they control forestation, they control everything, right? They're the biggest company in the world. They're like BlackRock, kinda. But they control everything. We're getting so off track here. It's been 20 minutes. I just love disclosing, but the point is, Harry Dubois thinks he's the icebreaker after all this. He looks at Renee, the fat lorry driver, Measurehead, and thinks that he will be the one fascist that will actually do something. He will be the icebreaker. He will bring back Riverdale to what it once was. He will destroy the moral lantern and he will bring it back to where we prospered, where we lived, where Riverdale wasn't a battered piece of shit, and people had food. People didn't starve in the street. Places like Martinez and Jamrock weren't results of war, and downtown wasn't just a cesspool. Harry was gonna revive Riverdale. And of course, he gets turned down, right? He meets Kim, and Kim's like, why do you look like that? And Harry tells him, oh, I'm the icebreaker, and before you know it, Kim's telling him to shut up and to act normal. This isn't you. What are you talking about? Icebreaker? Icebreaker. You're the guy that's gonna change everything. You. After the war, the bitterness, the racism, the death squads, the starvation, the firing squads, the Union, the moral intern, Operation Death Blow. After all of that, it's gonna be you. And yeah, I want to hope it's gonna be me. Because, I don't know. If not me, who else? I look around and no one else is doing anything. We're surrounded by Alberta's separatism. We're surrounded by... it feels like a ticking time bomb towards when the Indian Act just gets completely removed altogether. And you probably think that's good. And yeah, that is, but that's important too. Maybe it's paranoia, but my grandparents really do believe that the Indian Act is the one thing that holds at least Siksika together. A lot of it because of the Indian status. Indian ID cards, or Indigenous ID cards, right? To them, they really depend on it. Because without them, are they really Indian? And that's their fear. Without the cards, they'll be their entire Indian status. Their blood will be invalidated. No right person, no person in Calgary or in Edmonton are going to look at Siksika people who don't even know their language and go, "Are you native?" Especially to the youth that don't even know a word of Blackfoot. They're going to look at them and go, "Are you even native?" When the Indian Act's gone, there will be no status. There'll be no proof. The only proof that you'll have are acts. And you don't have that, you have no proof. And that's the fear. A part of me believes that it could be me. I can be the icebreaker. I could bring it all back. But at the same time, that's fueled by trauma, hatred of what we lost. We lost everything. It was a genocide. Our history was burnt. The Beethuk were gunned down. We were forced to residential schools. We were displaced. You know, we were made sick. It's manufactured suffering. In the most, well, not the most high extent. It happened. No, fuck that. No, actually not. Screw that, dude. Screw that. It wasn't that bad. Dog, we were like 300 million in all of North America. And now we're down to like what? Like 5? Like 10 million? Yeah, no. Genocide? No. That was just an axe. They all tripped on rocks and they fell on logs. No. Now what? Now what? What are we waiting for? Are we waiting for an icebreaker? Or are we waiting for a smarter chief, a smarter council? Are we waiting for the youth to learn the language? Are we learning for indigenous separatism? What are we waiting for? Are you guys waiting for me? Are you waiting for her, for them, for him, for it? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are we doing? What am I studying for? What am I working for? What's the point when Siksika's in the shitter? What's the point when I'm nothing? What's the point when I'm ugly? What's the point when no one's going to look at me and say they're proud of me? What's the point? If I don't try and work for everything now, for my validation, my own beauty, Siksika, and just... What's the fourth thing? Fuck, I forgot again. But without it, what's the point? What am I doing? I don't know. I'm just alive. I mean, fair enough, you know, like, I'd rather not be dead